Tonight on Hipstar Tonight, now available on iTunes. Purchases now online at hipstar.ca. The original 1-800-NEED-A-GIMMICK.com. Please send your contributions to the Heart and Soul Foundation. It is tonight on Hipstar Tonight.
Hey, congrats when a 50-year-old man picks up their dream again, you know? But it could have been a better day. Tonight on Hipstar Tonight. Happy Wednesday, April 26th, 2017. Social Media Day. Hey.
Pro wrestling. Hashtag pro wrestling.
And over the weekend that just passed, I wish we touched on this sooner. But, I just would like to say, Tom McConnell, he's an AM radio host, in case you didn't know. The host host with attitude. Tom McConnell isn't afraid to tell it like it is. I mean, they aren't
From 9 to noon.
They aren't even humble anymore. I mean, Jay, if you listen to this clip, we just put it on the Tonight on Hipstar Tonight YouTube account. Just check it out. Jay stands up for himself. He tries to make his plugs, and then Tom, in an aggressive nature, just kind of like really cuts down Jay. And Jay already has, know Jay Moore. He already has an aggressive nature that makes him come off desperate, sure. But Tom doesn't even excite the situation. Sarcasm with each fucking response, mocking you and me and our genuine passions. I don't appreciate that. I think that was like disrespect. I think you were treated kind of shittily. And I just like to say, when you dropped the fact that we do a fucking daily podcast, 15 minutes, he was like, oh, great. What, Tom, like, listen, man, like, you're refurbishing jokes that you used to do in 87, okay? All right? Can we just get over this, all right? And Martin Short did it way before you anyways. Stop it. Just welcome Jay.
Well, Tom's a big Martin Short fan, and including the guy that just died, Don Rickles.
Yeah.
He's a huge Don Rickles fan, and he just talks about Don all day, and he's, it's just, he's one of those guys, but like Tom throws a hissy fit when I call into the program because
I don't get it.
I have been banned from his show and a lot of, going on past year or so because I got kicked out of CKTB for not talking about Sean Spears, which they wanted to know about Sean Spears on a particular show, but I can't give him that information when he's working the WWE.
No, it's true.
So
they
kicked me out of studio, and Tom is upset thinking that I need to deliver to the local audience about Sean Spears because he was here, but I'm like, he's not at level anymore, guys. I just can't spurt out what he's doing.
Yeah, right? I can, I know.
I am able to, Tom's producer, Greg Caponier, is such a moron that every now and again I just call and I say I'm, Fred Willick from Port Colborne, and they put me through.
Perfect.
And then suddenly he recognizes me as Jay Moore, but he doesn't want to hang up on me necessarily because he wants to yell at every single time and try to get over with his audience on me.
And the National Heat's going to get ratings, and he knows that. So he's selfishly blocking you, but unselfishly welcoming you into the show, and that's just a mind fuck. It's like a girl saying we're not gonna fuck tonight, and you end up fucking. Like I don't get it. I don't know.
Tom delivered a show the other day where Tim Hudak, I don't know his name.
Hudak.
The MP for, I believe, Niagara Fort Erie area, out here in St. Catharines or Fort Erie, I don't know. And then, he actually ran for premier and didn't win that seat.
Okay.
He has him reviewing WrestleMania 33 and why The Undertaker's farewell was no good and they'd rather see one match. He has him.
That's a listen.
MP Premier talking about that on his show and giving him an hour and overlooking me, who has experience in the least broadcasting and pro wrestling. And why is our MPs talking about WrestleMania 33?
Doesn't he have anything better to do? Can't he just fix our region and how shitty the streets are? No, he's worried about how bad the Undertaker's doing. Leave it out.
You're in the next 6 months going to be paying double rent in the city, even in Parkdale. And this guy wants to review, and he's not even happy with the Undertaker, how he left the wrestling business. He wanted
I can't trust a guy like that.
How many matches does this guy have to please this MP?
Yeah, it's true. How many last matches does he have to have? Yeah. How many times does this poor man have to break his back coming out of retirement to please a fucking
WrestleMania
MP?
33? Think what you want about it. It had a hell of a production, a hell of a crowd, and this Tim Hudak, who's my MP asking for votes, gave it 2.5 stars.
Well, when you take over the social media, you
Out of
kind of
5
know what you're
stars.
doing, right? And Hudak, that was kind of smart in a way. Dumb, but smart, because a lot of people were talking about it.
Anyways,
you share something.
You wanted to send shout-outs to the sniper. He won a bodybuilding contest, word has it. I heard this at a basketball game.
And
word's getting out in the street.
He took over social media, and he's back. He's back in the bodybuilding game. He, he's got, a little white head on top of a big brown body that just seems so misproportioned.
He doesn't tan his head? He doesn't put the lotion on his head?
A lot of bodybuilders don't, and I don't understand it. It literally looked like he was photoshopped. I know that's an easy thing to say, but I mean, that's just weird. And I find bodybuilding to be a very dated talent. And I know what you're saying, well, you're a skinny fucking vegan gimmick, and you don't work out. That's just an excuse for you. You know what? Bodybuilding is kind of silly, because really it's just you pumping, you're making yourself a fucking statue, right? You're making each muscle and each group even. You're evening it out, which is great. You're a fucking canvas. You're an artistic piece. But really, you're draining out all your fucking strength and energy. You'd never be able to do a military press slam on me because you're going to drop out your shoulder. And everybody's saying, oh, that guy's going to kick my ass. I'm not going to pick a fight with him. Dude, he's going to get exhausted trying to throw his first right hook because he's just got no sense of his natural strength. He's just used to lifting weights. And I mean, we gotta, you can defend bodybuilding all you want, but I gotta defend the other side and saying
I've had the pleasure of going to an IFPP meeting, and I've been a part of the pro shows in Toronto through Sylvie Silver. And what was interesting for me is when I first started dating Sylvie Silver, I had met her in a bodybuilding competition in Mississauga, where I got free tickets, not by comp, by her putting me on the list as her trainer.
Fucking right.
And when I had gotten to the venue, I showed up and I said I was Sylvie's trainer, and I didn't look like a trainer whatsoever.
No, of course you don't.
My body's not of any sort of training. I had jeans on, my Jay Moore shirt on, a pair of sunglasses. I'm walking into the locker room
Jack
area.
Daniels.
And I got to tell you, Hipstar, nothing against the bodybuilders. I have good friends with many of them. But it was a weird atmosphere for me, some of the side business going on with the spray tanning and the booze. It's just kind of weird, bunch of people. But the women would get all drunk on red wine because apparently they pop out, when they hit the stage. Yeah, I don't know. Sure. I think some of this is kayfabe that I shouldn't even be talking about it, because it is a kind of a hidden world. And my friend is Rob Rage, and I don't want any heat. So sorry. And Carm, shout outs. Sniper. Congratulations.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. I mean, the motivation they give, you gotta give it your all. If you second guess yourself and you say you can't do it, you're not doing it hard enough. And I just there isn't anybody out there who isn't giving it their all, who isn't doing what they want. There's the 9-to-5ers doing it in moderation, of course, mediocrely, maybe.
Matt Bradley does it.
But it's all we want, and everyone knows that. Everyone takes some condition of steps to get to there, right? Do we know this? Some do it faster than others. Some have been privileged that they can afford to free up their week and dedicate it to keeping their mind and body dedicated and in shape. But some of us don't. So, don't fucking tell us, you're not working hard enough if you're not trying for yourself. We're all fucking trying for ourselves. We're all selfish humans, and we all want to see the best for ourselves. It's fucking stupid motivational quotes, man. Go back to Drake quotes.
It is social media day.
Yeah,
it is social media. We have time for a quick email, or
we got 5 minutes. Let's do this. Right, social media is blowing up. It's been a
infamous
big week.
@hotmail.com. And by the way, I still got to plug 1-800-EAT-A-GIMMICK, the original 1-800-EAT-A-GIMMICK.com.
Of course.
So that's it for that show. But infamous @hotmail.com. This one coming in from Pete Bison from Scarborough, Ontario. New guy. Generally love this show, but this week's been very boring.
Wow.
The Alien Habanero bit, I don't understand. You talk all about his wrestling and talk about all his blogs, but you didn't talk about his arrest in 2014 for cocaine and smuggling women over the border that were illegal. That's from Pete Wise in Scarborough, Ontario. I didn't know any of this. Is that true?
Well, I'm not sure. Well, I'm just going to say kayfabe. But thanks for writing in. The callers writing these emails are, are great. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to touch on this, Jay, because honestly, this is what he proposed, is that everybody gets together and starts OIW again, the website, right? But again, as I said yesterday, I think the website was a terrible idea to begin with. And again, it exposed how silly and unprofessional this province really is with wrestling. We should be...
Yeah, and it did nothing for the infamous Jay Moore show on Driscoll Radio, because I used to post on there, and I got shit.
You know, back in those days, I'm sorry to say, and I hate to be so fucking cynical, but we should be ashamed of how Ontario looked in the field of wrestling back in those days. It looked pitiful, man. Wrestlers fucking picking beefs through message boards and fucking really bad graphic design posters. I mean, now, what we got left is only shows wanting to leave a lasting impression. Sure, some of those impressions may look like something else we might have seen before, sure, but they're independent for a reason. Sure, maybe co-host with another promotion every once in a while so you can afford extra talent, but essentially, they want to run on their own. Do their own thing. It's indie wrestling, damn it. It's not a mutual project people want to carpool.
Some of the greatest posters and the greatest graphics ever posted on OIW, the Emmanuel Mello site, were from Troy Buchanan used to run Niagara Pro Wrestling in, what was it, Stevensville?
Yeah. Stevensville wasn't even in Niagara. No, neither is Fort Erie, so what the fuck? Whatever.
It was always like the blue, color blue with lightning. Like very bad lightning.
And guys just posing.
And it'd be like Rex Atkins versus, and they were the T-Rex Express, if you remember.
Great times.
That was the tag team against, like, a lot of times the Sugar Twins or something, and I would be on there with Sniper Randy Vaughn or Quan Chang, one of the two, or the MFers, but very poorly done posters back in the day.
I totally agree. And I was to blame for some of that. I mean, that's fucking happens.
You made a couple.
But again, like, it was shitty back in those days. Again, like, T-Rex Express posing versus blah. The word wrestling nowhere on the poster, and when you show a friend, they're like, what is this? What's happening here? The advertising aspect was just fucking terrible, and I want to put.
What was worse than that is like going to like a Quickie Martin Welland and seeing Chuck the Butcher Simpson versus Bobby Bass.
Yeah, right.
And like it was called Rough Wrestling International. You couldn't make it such a bad poster. And like Chuck would have a slab of beef in his hand and a bone with an apron, and Bobby Bass would have like a cowboy hat with a huge, like, very not marketable in the 90s anyways.
The title says it all.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah, there you could tell the show's going to be rough. And it was,
There's a Pig Rose Promotions presentation.
And again, I want to put this in your ear. Promoters are pretty shady, okay? There's a lot of shady promoters back in the day and still active. Kind of active. There's a group I would certainly not ask for, the group being joining them all together. So all these easy ideas they're easy on paper, bro. But just please think first. And again, hipstar.ca, please stop Elian Habanero. This is getting way out of hand, and I think this idea of a union, I think
at the end of the day, no one gives a shit. I think we all know that Scott D'Amore, Santino Marella, Ashton Chambers, they're the wrestling gods in Ontario. That's what's happening.
And they certainly don't want to work with each other. So just let them be independent. It's the independence for a reason.
Well, no, but Scott will do Santino's stuff. Scott goes, he knows how to do it. He does triple shows all the time. I don't know.
But again, on their own. Okay, so just keep that.
Yeah.
All right. Hey.
Well,
3 days sober, man. 3 days, and I'm happy about that. Still on the cigarettes, but I mean, I feel like I got a clearer mind, which is making my diet get back up. So
I really don't like how you said that about Scott. To be honest with you, I'm trying to say that
I didn't say one thing.
I've seen him do partnerships. And now you're putting heat on the situation where I'm going to look like an assohole again.
I mean, but I'm saying they're working for their own promotion. They're working for their own domain. They're working for themselves. They're not going off and doing mutual shows because they don't need to. They're their own brand.
Yeah, but you know what?
Let them be.
The thing is,
don't take our jobs away.
Some of the boys that listen to this will send this to Scott, and then I look like a fucking asshole because something was said wrong.
Oh, you're always worried about your image. Oh, your image.
Well,
I'm a broadcast journalist, all right? I deliver the news, the heat, and what's going on in Ontario in your seat.
you just blasted Tom McConnell at some point. Like, you're ruining everybody I do business with, and you're kind of like holding me hostage on the air by doing these podcasts that I've signed to a year